Yes, I was saying that in my message, I just want to continue with that message of debt. Many people are sick, not because they have a virus, not because they have a bacteria in their body, but because they are in debts. And they are not being able to pay the debts. And it's very important to understand, these people whom we borrow from, don't think that it's all of them who knows God, who fears God. Many of them are evil. They are wicked. And they can do anything to recover their money. They can do anything. They can get anywhere. And because of this, many creditors have consulted evil authors because of debts, because they want somebody to ask on their behalf. They don't want to keep on pursuing you. They don't want to keep on talking to you. Those are the things that are happening on the ground, and many people have no information about. That this woman, because she knew God, she feared God with her husband. That's why when she found that her sons were to be enslaved, she consulted a prophet to help her pay the debt. The others, they don't. They borrow, but they don't go to consult prophets to help them, to advise them, or rather to pray for them, or now to pay the debts. But they consult evil authors. They consult evil authors. They seek directions on how to pay debts. And the creditors on the other side, they go to the evil authors to consult evil spirits, to pursue they that have their money. And these are things that are happening on the ground. And that's why you find many people who have other people's money, they get so much frustrated until they find themselves, they cannot even be able to pay. Leave alone even pay. You get frustrated until you find yourself, even you cannot pay. Even you cannot eat. You don't have food in your house. Because the evil spirits, they don't pursue you for good, but they begin to pursue you to frustrate you, to intimidate you. A prophet can give a good direction and divine direction that can help you recover your money. She can pray for you and advise you and tell you, wait on God. God will speak to her. God will speak to him. But understand, the evil authors, when you are accused in those evil authors, your life is endangered. Your business is endangered. In fact, many people, even they end up even closing the business. They had borrowed money to put money in. They end up closing it. And they begin to suffer. Even others, they end up losing everything. And they end up to suffer because evil authors, they pursue you for destruction. They are silent killers. They kill you silently. They rob you silently. They rob you silently. Even it's better the person who takes you to the court, because the court will advise you on how to pay, or rather you are pushed to pay by the court of law. But satanic authors, they are dangerous than a court of law. They are so dangerous. And that's why people, they need to learn how to pay their debts. This woman, when she was asked by Elisha, what do you have? After she was told to go and borrow, jars from her neighbors, she brought the jars. I remember when Elisha and asked her, what do you have, woman? She said, I have nothing at all. I have nothing. Sina kitu kabisa. But as she ends her statement, she says, only a little oil. Only a little oil. She never knew that little oil she had, God could use it to help her pay her debts. But she believed that she had nothing. And that is the mentality of many people who keep borrowing and borrowing because they say they have nothing. Nobody who has nothing. You must have something. You have something. Don't be cheated that you have nothing. You have something. You might not have money. You may not have money, but you have something else. You might be living in a rented house. You don't have your own house, but you have something else. You have the money to pay the rent. Never say that you have nothing, because that's where many people, they fall as victim of debts, because you always think that you have nothing. You always think that you cannot pay your debts. You can pay your debts. You can use that little that you have to begin to pay your debts. Because debt is a spirit. And it's a silent killer. It's a silent killer. Many people, they go through sleepless night. Not because somebody has assaulted them, but because they have no peace because of debt. They have no peace at all. This woman was crying. This makes me to understand debt can put you into tears that does not end. Intimidation, when you see this person, you feel intimidated because you are a slave to the person you are borrowed from. Don't wait until you are accused into the altars of Satan. Pay your debts. Pay your debts. Because the altars of Satan, what they do when you are accused there, they begin to cut down the pillars that has been supplying you. That is when you hear somebody has lost his job. And you find it's a battle of debts. It's a battle of debts. You have done nothing. But because you kept borrowing, somebody accused you into the altars of Satan. And the evil spirits are after your job to bring you down and to frustrate you, that you may not even be able to pay. Or rather, you hear somebody has been involved in a very bad accident. Because those evil spirits, they begin to run after you. Monitoring spirits are sent into your house from those altars where the creditors, they go to consult help. Remember, if somebody is wicked, he will not go to Elijah. He will go to a witch doctor. He will go to occultic altars to seek for help. And because he has consulted, he will be helped. And because the enemy has the legal ground, he has a legal right. Because you have somebody's money, you have somebody's property, you find you cannot defend yourself. You cannot free yourself. You become a victim. And your children become a victim of battles that is not theirs. They find themselves paying for something that they did not borrow. Children becomes rebellious, but you find it's battles of debts. Your children begin to become sick, but you find it's battles of debts. You begin to fall into misfortunes, injuries. You have been knocked by a car. Your car has knocked another car. Your house has got fire. You find a lot of misfortune, but you find it's a battle of debts. It's a battle of debts. And that's why when Elisha was speaking to this woman, she said to the woman, fill these jars. Lock yourself in the house with in the room together with your boys. Fill the jars. And when the jars were filled, she came to Elisha, and Elisha said to her, go sell the oil. And the first thing you will do is not to buy yourself a car. It's not to buy yourself a house. The first thing you do when you sell the oil is to pay the debts. And anything that will remain, live for it with your children. She was not told that what you get, God, take your children to school, take your children to best school. Elisha knew the consequences that were to come upon this woman if she does not pay the debts. And that's why Elisha was so much minded on how can I help this woman pay her debts. Because if the debts are not cleared, even the children will not be able to enjoy their school. If the debts are not cleared, there will be no peace in the house. If the debts are not cleared, there will be no peace in your car. And that's why Elisha said, pay the debts first after we have sold the oil. And then what will remain? Live for it with your children. And my prayer to you is that if you have been living on debts, please come out of debts. Free yourself. Because when you are freeing yourself, you are freeing even your family from the consequences that can fall on them. Free your soul from debts. Free your mind, because many people, they have that mentality of debts. You find it's a mentality. You borrow now. Even when you have money, you want to go and borrow again. Even when you have money, you want to borrow again. Because it's something that you have conceived in your mind that you can live on borrowing. Come out of that. Free your children from this problem, from this challenge of debts. Because many children are suffering when they are not supposed to suffer. Men are living in rebelliousness. Men are living in drugs. But you find it's a battle of debts that have not been paid by their parents. Tell God to help you and to free yourself from this. And I want to pray for you today. And I want you to agree with me that you can come out of debt. You can walk in freedom. You can walk in freedom. There are people today, they have taken a lot of debts. People call you a millionaire, but you find it's debt. It's debt. If you pay your debts, you have nothing. You find you don't have something for yourself. Do you know you cannot leave inheritance for your children if you are a man of debts? Because the little that you leave behind shall be taken. The Bible says a righteous man, he leaves behind inheritance for his children. But if you are living on debts,